We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where your guy, Tyrone Glover, the Dress Down CEO, gets to help you get to that next level. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, giving us the time and the opportunity to help you get to, again, that next level. What are you attempting to do with your finances? What and how do we help you get to where you want to be? Because I'm telling you right now, if you do, again, I say it all the time, this much, and we're going to give you this much of information, but if you do this much, do you have any idea what you can overcome, what you can create, what you can do with, again, that little bit of what you can do with what we give you? And when I tell you, we're dropping gold nuggets, we are dropping huge gold nuggets. So you turn your TV down. We are dropping huge gold nuggets, some of the biggest gold nuggets on the face of the planet. And it's so great, rewarding. And I mean, I'm just super excited, as I say, all the time. Today, we're going to be talking about, do you owe a debt collector? And this is going to be very important because it's really super critical that you understand that there are new laws that came out for 2023. These laws are there, and they're here to protect us all. And if you don't know your rights, guess what? You don't have any. Now, I know some of you are probably freaking out over this whole bank situation. Don't do it. Talk to somebody who knows. I know. My good dear friend, Dr. Yana B knows. There's a lot of people out there who know. Don't get caught up in the hyperbole, the hype, the garbage. News. Do not get caught up on the divisiveness of what the right is saying or what the left is saying. Do your homework, do your due diligence, find someone who can sit you down and explain it to you in detail. Consumers, again, calm down. All right? There's always that hype, there's always that craziness, there's always that noise that keeps more going than necessary. So calm down. Take it easy. And if you haven't already, go ahead and grab that device. And hey, look at me. I'm doing what I do best. And I want you to go ahead and send this out to at least 1 or 2 people. Let them know, hey, that guy's back on. He's talking that stuff again. So let's dive on into it. All right. Do you owe a debt collector? And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of stuff out there, and you might think that you do, but if you don't know your rights, you're going to end up paying somebody that you're not necessarily supposed to be paying. All right? The original creditor is the only person you owe. Now, what I'm going to be reading here is going to dive into a variety of different understandings, but I'm going to say this again. The original creditor is the only one you owe if there aren't certain things that have been done prior to. All right. Now, the original creditor is going to do what they need to do to protect their brand and protect their business. And that's perfectly fine. That's what we want from the original creditor. But the original creditor also has something that is a tax ability, that they get to exercise that we, the consumer, don't know. But I, as being the dress down CEO, someone who has spent the last 30 years in corporate America, trust me when I tell you, they're writing this stuff off. They're getting back that tax liability that is associated with that bad debt deduction, and they're then selling your debt to a third party, or they're giving it to that third party. Now, giving it, selling it, or whatever means in which that third party can't validate that debt, you do not owe them. All right, so I just wanted to make that perfectly clear to you that you do not owe them. But let's get through it. All right, so I want to play this really quick. It's a little short video, and I believe you should all be able to hear it. Give me 1 second. Sorry for the snafu there.
Even if you owe more than you can handle, you still have rights. Most legit debt collectors follow the rules, but bad debt collectors don't. They break the law. So if you get a call like this,
if you don't pay, we will have you arrested and deported.
Or this
is your final warning. Pay up now or we'll contact your employer and make them pay.
Hang up and report it to the Federal Trade Commission. You have the right to be treated fairly no matter what. That means debt collectors can't use abusive language, threaten violence, or harass you. Or call you before 8 in the morning or after 9 at night. They can't lie or pretend to be someone they're not.
I'm an attorney and will take legal action if you don't pay this debt right away.
Or get you to pay a debt that doesn't even exist. They can't have you arrested or deported or tell anyone about your debt. Bad debt collectors like to knock you off your guard to get an advantage, create a sense of urgency, and rush you. They'll say anything to get you to pay right now. Instead, hang up and report it to the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov/complaint. We've stopped a lot of bad debt collectors. Help us stop more. For more information about debt collection, visit consumer.gov/debt.
And there you have it, folks. One of the most exciting things in the whole wide world is that you have rights. And if you don't exercise your rights, you're going to end up finding some of these debt collecting companies out there that are shamsters, scamsters, carnies, shenanigans. They do whatever they can to, again, get you locked into a new contractual arrangement, and then you're back on the hook. So you really want to be careful. So really quick, I want to give you a little bit about myself. I am an enlisted Go Army veteran, K through 12 teacher, corporate American executive by way of European studies with 30 plus years entrusted to me by 19 companies in the US and abroad. So I got a lot of knowledge and experience and understanding, and that's why I do what I do. Responsible for the well-being of employees and profits. So that's what I've always been taking care of. The well-being of employees and the company's profits. My clients, friends, coworkers, students, and family remember me for my expertise, knowledge of credit. Well, that's my lane. Credit is my lane. So I really don't dive into other areas. I can give you some suggestions, but I always hand you off to those who are equally as passionate in their lanes prior to me giving you any real understanding of other lanes. I'm a credit guy. I love it and I appreciate it, and I strongly suggest that you make sure that you're dealing with those who accurately understand their lanes. All right, so credit for credit advocacy, activism, my commitment to consumer right protection, and pro se litigants' rights. So a pro se litigant, if you're not quite sure, pro se litigant is someone who self-represents. And if you go to civil court for a debt, you're the best person to go in there and represent yourself. I will fill you in and hook you up with all of the particulars. So from this day forward, our youth and students of all ages will have a voice and a seat at this table. And we're going to use our voice very effectively. All right, so summary, we're going to give you a little bit of what we're going to be talking about, as you already know. Some of these sites that you're seeing here, Solo Suite or Solo Suit, and CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau. These are some of the things that they've highlighted. When a collector contacts you, respond with a debt validation letter. This is one of the most critical pieces about debt, to make sure that you're speaking to the individuals who actually possess and own the debt. It's like a car. When you sell a car, it's called the change of title. Same thing happens with debt. Don't get caught up thinking you owe someone when in all actuality, you do not. You may not want to pay a collector if you will never have an income or assets. Very simple. If you don't owe the debt, if you want to settle for less, if the statute of limitation has expired, or if the collector doesn't own the debt. Those things right there, something critical to understand about each one of those four items. You got to make sure that if you're going to address any type of a debt, you do it with a debt validation letter. The CFPB also gave a little bit of a summary, a hint to how they are addressing and asking you to address. My debt is several years old. Can a debt collector still collect? In most states, if the debt is yours, the amount is correct. And that's the important piece. The amount is correct. If the amount is off by 1 penny, you do not owe that debt. And the debt collector is entitled to collect. The collector can continue to ask you to pay the debt. If you are sued, you may have to defend to the lawsuit due to the age of the debt. So you have statute of limitations, as Solo Suit had indicated. And again, if you're going to be sued, you then become the defendant, and you're going to have to go into court to represent yourself, or that will turn into a summary judgment. You do not want those things. Summary judgments could lead up into garnishments. They could lead up into a lot of negative information that can end up on your credit profile, and you don't want this stuff to hit your credit profile. If it's positive, obviously good. If it's negative, that's where we come in to help you fight it to the fullest extent of what the legal capacity allows for you to do. And it's very important that you understand your rights. All right, here we have Equifax gave us also a little bit of what they think you should understand about debt, dealing with debt collectors. What are your rights? If you're struggling with debt and suddenly find yourself fielding calls from collection agencies, it's important to know that you're not powerless in this situation. There are rules, regulations, which debt collectors can say or do in trying to get your payment. The Fair Debt Collection Practice Act is a federal law that makes it illegal for collectors to use abusive, unfair, or deceptive practices to collect from you. All right, so it's really simple to understand. You have rights, and if you don't know your rights, then you don't have them. So it's important that you, again, speak with somebody like myself, speak with somebody who, again, practices this on a regular basis. The Dress Down CEO, as I told you, this is my lane. And I come from the corporate America world, which helps me understand my lane even far better than anyone else out there. I've challenged all of them: Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, CFPB, FTC. I don't care. Anybody who is in this space, come onto the show, join us, help us make sure that we're giving you the most accurate of information, and also that we're doing it right. But I can tell you right now, 98% of what I'm telling you or giving you as information, we've double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked to make sure that what we're giving you is on the up and up. And if anybody out there, as I indicated, anybody out there thinks it's not, by all means, challenge us. So far, we haven't had any takers, and we're now on our 15th year, no takers. So debt collection is a billion-dollar industry that makes calls and more than 1/3 of the adult population in the U.S. All right, that's crazy, billion-dollar industry. All right, if the phone rings and you have legitimately incurred a debt, you are responsible for answering the phone and paying the debt, period. Bottom line. If you did it and you know you did it, again, you are responsible for the debt. Now, here's the caveat there. As long as it's still in the hands of the original creditor. That's what you always have to remember, the original creditor. It's in the hands of the original creditor. There's no act, law, anything out there that will prevent you from paying that debt. Live up to your contractual obligation. Go back and renegotiate the terms and conditions. Think about how you're going to reset those terms and conditions so that it's manageable and it's allowing you to meet the monthly new agreement. And I suggest that to all businesses out there. If you businesses that are offering credit or offering any type of loans, you really need to start thinking about, stop sending them to debt collectors and start renegotiating. If you can't renegotiate, you need to hire the guy who can. The Dress Down CEO is offering his assistance and service to any company out there that doesn't know how to renegotiate this debt. Stop sending people in your hard-earned money to a debt collection company. Reopen your collections departments in your businesses and start doing what you should be doing, which is protecting the U.S. consumer. All right, it's just that simple. However, that does not give the collection agency the right to harass, threaten, or bully you into repayment, which is how many consumers feel when they get the first phone call. It's not about the method in which they use. They have to make sure that they're not violating your rights. And if they are, you need to know that. Anyone comes at you with an ill tone or ill manner, again, that's what I'm here to help you navigate yourself through. And I do a very good job, an exceptional job, because I've helped thousands of individuals get out of these very circumstances prior to them becoming something or entering into that realm or being on their credit reports. Or if it was on the credit report, they then got sued and then they had to go to court. My job was to help my consumers make sure that they understand either direction. You want to pay it off, you want to renegotiate, it's been in the system for whatever time frame. It might be a zombie debt, it might be something that's out of the statute of limitations. That's my job, that's my lane. And I'm telling you, business is good. All right, it's good. And all I want to do is help those of you who are equally feeling the same pressures that you know you shouldn't be feeling because of the fact, again, all it is negotiation. If you can negotiate properly, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get that debt wiped off. You're going to probably not have to pay what you think you're going to have to pay, or you might not have to pay not one red cent. Okay? Just important to know. All right, so how long can debt collectors legally chase you? Understanding the statute of limitations on debt collection and how to avoid resetting it. All right, very simple. You got to know these things. The statute of limitations applies to all states. Each state has its own understanding about the statute of limitations. Here in New York, it's 6 years. So you got to know that if you are, or if you've had a debt and that debt is still in the original hands of the original creditor, they can sue you, and they can sue you up to 6 years. If they pass that debt on to a third party, and again, pass that debt, they sell debt at 4 cents on the dollar. That's the cheapest you can buy debt for. The most expensive you can buy debt for is 12 cents. So think about it. If somebody says you owe them $1,000, and this is a third party, the debt collector says you owe them now $1,000, and they're going to give that money back to the original creditor, it's not what happens, okay? Even though they may have the original creditor's name on their mailing or on the correspondence that they send you, that money is going to the third party. Again, I know what I know because I know what I know. And I've asked anybody, as I said, you want to challenge me? Please, I'm all up for it. So the adage that word means has never been truer than it is with debt collection. Debt collectors have a dark reputation, and rightfully so. It's a tough business, and an unscrupulous collector were so persuasive. The federal government passed a law to protect us from them. It's called the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. Collectors only have a limited amount of time that they can legally pursue you to collect the debt. However, there are things you can say when they contact you that can reset the clock on the statute of limitations. One could be, hello, I'm looking for Tyrone Glover. And you get on the phone and you say, hey, I am Tyrone Glover. Boom, got you. You can change that up by saying, I am a Tyrone Glover. Because I Googled my name and I was shocked to see that there's a plethora of Tyrone Glovers. So if they don't know you, they're actually doing a fishing expedition. And when they buy debt, there's a lot of things because of the Information Protection Act that they cannot give, or the original creditor cannot give to a third party. So if they don't know what they're doing and you do, you're able to stop that activity from moving forward with a third party. Also send out, if they're calling you, send out a cease and desist. Cease and desist letter will stop them from calling you. And if they do continue to call you, well, now you have a lawsuit on your side. So you can sue them for, again, harassment. But there are so many ways in which you can get in front of that debt prior to it hitting your credit report and prior to you having to come out of pocket for something that, oh, excuse me, got the hiccups, that has already been satisfied. So debt collection agencies can employ a variety of shifty tactics. They may start with harassing phone calls and escalate from there. But depending on your situation, you may never need to pay a debt collector. Not sure why? Not sure where to begin? Leverage Credit Recovery can help. That's the business that we own and operate, and we love being able to assist you with understanding every ounce of your rights. We'll do it for you, or we'll teach you to do it for yourself. Either or. Completely up to you. Completely up to you. So here's a big one, and I'm sure you all who have student loans, student loan debt represents the second largest source of household debt in the United States with $1.3 trillion. And I'm truly hoping that the Biden administration, or even the next administration, it doesn't matter, they can wipe this out. If you can take care of medium and small sized banks when they do malfeasance, and you can't take care of those who, again, we were told, go to school, get the higher education, do what you need to do so you can secure that job. We were lied to. Okay? Lied to. Yeah, I'm going to say we were lied to because guess what? The jobs aren't there. They were never there. But you took on oodles and oodles and oodles and oodles of debt because what? These colleges need more money. Some of these colleges have larger endowments than what they bring in. So they don't need more money. They got enough. Their basketball teams, their football teams, their rugby teams, their hockey teams, their soccer teams, whatever it is that they do, again, they're bringing in revenue from all ends of the spectrum. But yet their student loans are through the roof. $40, $50, $60, $70, $80, $90,000 for a semester. Come on now. Come on. Really? Go back about 40, 50 years, it was $5,000, $6,000 to go to some of these schools. And now you're paying upwards of $50 and $60 and $70 and $80,000. Something needs to be done, and it needs to be done rather quickly, or these student loans are going to end up in debt collections companies, and guess what's going to happen? You're really going to have a battle. But if you're smart, if you're intelligent, if you're wise, if you're savvy, if you're brilliant, if you're bright, and you know exactly that you have rights, then you need to be reaching out to us and letting us help you, or you need to be reaching out to somebody who's equally as passionate and understands this level of financial services. Because if they don't understand this level of financial services, all they're going to be doing is taking advantage of you. I just got out of a court situation where that very same situation was going on, where the company was taking advantage of their very consumer, and they thought, well, we're going to hire the dressed-down CEO to come in or to be a consultant, and he can then do the exact same thing. He's so good. He can speak so well. He's articulate. He knows it inside and out. But what they didn't believe or didn't understand was that I do not go against the law. Bottom line, I do not. I will not jeopardize my freedom. I will not sacrifice my integrity. I will not do anything to harm the U.S. consumer or any consumer for that matter. I am a soldier. And as a soldier, I took an oath, and that oath is to protect our citizens from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And guess what we are dealing with today? Far more domestic abusers than we are foreign intruders. Okay? That's the bottom line. So that student loan debt, we got to get that under control. All right, so debt collection agencies buy your debt from lenders. Your debt is a commodity like oil, sugar, coffee, orange juice, you name it. Whatever commodity is out there, your debt is equally a commodity. That seems like a fact of life for many Americans. 4 out of 5 Americans, 80%, owe some debt. Collectively, Americans owe $1.4 trillion to banks, credit cards, companies, and other lenders. There are usually 2 parties in debt collection cases. First, there's the party who allegedly owes money, called the debtor. Then there's the party to whom the money is allegedly owed, called the collector. All right? Really simple, really easy. None of this is hard. You just need to know how to navigate through. Once you navigate through, then your success rate is going to significantly improve. Often the collector finds they cannot collect a debt from a debtor. Interest keeps piling up on the debtor's loan, and there's no money coming in to pay it. A collector now has 2 options. Collect the debt themselves. However, tracking down an alleged debtor can become more of a hassle for the lender than it's worth. So this is why, again, I just suggested that these companies open back up their collections departments and start investing in that. Stop giving that hard-earned bread to a third party, all because you don't want to do the work. Well, now you can hire people back again. All right? Yes, increase your bottom line by hiring people like myself who can train people to do the right thing when it comes to renegotiating the terms and conditions of that debt. Not even if you don't want to renegotiate terms and conditions. Make it more attractive for individuals to find ways of staying on track. Our process helps consumers stay on track. And I would love to work with American Express, Discover, Visa, MasterCard. It doesn't matter. If you're a financial institution and you need someone who can hold it down for you, you need to start talking to the dress down CEO, because I can do way more because I know way more than those who claim they're doing it for the benefit of the consumer. No, they're doing it for the benefit of their own bottom line. All right? I'm here for the consumer. I'm here for the business to make sure that we're all whole and we're all kept in the manner in which our businesses are running more conducive and more in cohesiveness with each other. Sell it to a debt collection agency. Creditors give up their right to collect the debt, but still receive some money. Again, did you hear what that just said? Collectors give up their right to collect the debt, but still receive some money when they sell the debt to a debt collector. All right? That, again, is changing the hands of the debt, but there are still a variety of laws that still protect you from this activity. Your debt is their document, so they can do whatever they want to with their documents. All right? Where the law comes, it is to protect you from the harassment, the inadvertent entries that might be put on your credit report without your knowledge. It also protects you from not receiving the appropriate documentation should it end up in court. All right? This helps them to recoup some of their losses. And I want them to recoup more of their losses. But if they're going to go about it in the bad debt deduction avenue in which they are taking, then by all means, they don't want what they are entitled to. They want to go about it in another manner. So they're going to sell it to a debt collection company. That debt collection company is then going to impersonate the original creditor, because they're not. You just read it right here. Collectors give up their right to collect the debt but still receive some money. So if it's $1,000 debt and they sell it for 4 cents, that means they get $40. Think about the amount of debt that's out there, $1.4 trillion. So there's a bunch of companies that, again, they can still earn a pretty penny by doing what they do, and that's what they do. They earn a pretty penny by selling that debt, writing it off, getting back what they're entitled to for that bad debt deduction write-off, and then selling the debt to add a little bit more resources to their bottom line. Right? So it's really important to understand this. If you don't know it, now you do. All right? Keep it moving. All right, a debt collection company, or excuse me, a debt collection agency is a company that buys unpaid debt from a creditor. On average, debt collection agencies buy these debts at just 4%. So as I said, 4 cents on the dollar for the original debt amount. All right? 4 cents on the dollar. All right? You got to be smarter than that, folks. If the original creditor is going to sell that debt, you need to talk to the original creditor and say, hey, you're getting ready to sell this debt, so let's renegotiate whatever terms and conditions that will fit your pocket. Okay? Don't get caught up in, again, if you do not have the means to do, don't put yourself out there to say you're going to do something and then find yourself right back in the same situation. If you are unsure how to negotiate, please reach out to us, Leverage Credit Recovery here, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. All right? Help you out. That's what we want to do. We want to help everybody. We want to make sure that everybody can get back to some form of financial stability. The working poor and the middle class, those are my kids now. Those are my loved ones. Those are the ones that I appreciate and want to do everything for. That's some 70 to 80% of this population. If we took care of those two groups, oh my goodness, the most vulnerable. If we took care of those groups, what we would be able to change when it comes to the financial literacy and stability of this country. So this is good trouble, folks. We're getting into good trouble all because John Lewis said, do it. Get into that good trouble. Not just for civil rights issues, but financial rights issues. We're going to be getting into good trouble all year long. We're going to be getting into good trouble for the next 2 years for the foreseeable understanding of making sure that we can improve the lives of the working poor and the middle class. There is no getting around this. No getting around this. This is a must-do understanding. We must, we will, and we can improve the lives or the financial lives of the working poor and the middle class. So let's consider an example. All right? Example. Bobby owes a credit card. The debt is $1,000. After a month, he misses the payment. The credit card company, aka the collector, charges off the debt. So this is after 1 month. All right? And they can do that. They don't have to keep that ongoing and ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. They're doing it to give you the opportunity of being able to live up to your contractual understanding. But if they say, hey, you know what? Nope, not working out for me. Boom, I'm done. And they can do that. All right? So charge off the debt and sell it to a debt collection agency for $100. The debt collector starts calling, sending you letters, writing emails. And this is something that I just learned too. They can start emailing you and they can start texting you. So please be on the lookout. Now, how legal that is, we'd have to definitely dive into the legalities of whether or not that is a appropriate method of communications. I would prefer something that would be in a actual letter format that I have to sign for. Again, if you open up an email or if you open up a text, that could be probably something that you could argue very successfully in a court of law. All right? Asking Bobby to pay the $1,000 he owes. They threaten to take legal actions if he doesn't. If Bobby pays off the debt in full, the collectors make a gigantic profit. And there you have it right there. All right? They make a gigantic profit. So you need to know these things so you do not find yourself on the short end of the receiving end of what you think is going to be a good thing for you. You have to be cognizant and you need to know your rights. Because if you do, I'm telling you, once you know them, you got them. Just that simple. So there you had a very easy scenario that expressed and explained gigantic profits for third parties, and they're selling this debt for pennies on the dollar. All right, so old debt can cause problems whether you pay or not. Not exactly. Sure, paying a debt collection agency may get them off your back, but that's all it'll do. Evidence of the unpaid debt can remain on your credit report for up to 7 years. The actual amount of the debt doesn't matter. Collections raises the same red flags on your credit report regardless of whether the debt is for $100 or if the debt is for $100,000. So it's really important that you do not want to find yourself in any type of debt situation that will impact your credit. All right, pay those obligations on time, bring down those utilizations. Don't be out there inquiring too much. Make sure you're protecting your history and have a very good credit mix. Because if you do, you're going to be taken care of. If you don't, oops, you're going to find yourself in harm's way. But we want to make debt go away. All right, so that's why we're saying bye-bye debt. All right. What's worse, intent doesn't matter in debt collection cases. Many debtors aren't trying to dodge their collectors. I already know that, and you already know that. We're not trying to dodge these collectors. We're just trying to find a new way or a new contractual understanding that would allow for us to make our agreements and live up to them. They have car loans that they've stretched out to 94 months, if I'm not mistaken, if I do that by 12, 94 or 96 months. 96, I'm driving myself crazy thinking about how long that is. That's crazy. Car loans were used to be 3 years or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. They're now stretched out to 8 years. Who keeps a car for 8 years? Nobody. So if you can do that for, again, a tangible item that can be repoed, you can do the exact same thing for a credit card or for a loan. Renegotiate with the good faith of the consumer. Put them in a situation that's going to help them and watch your consumers thrive. We have now gone through a pandemic. We've watched banks crash. We've watched the financial situation crash. We've watched a lot of things happen just in the short period of the new year. We need to be thinking more strategic. These businesses need to be thinking, how do we help and also equally help our bottom line? Well, the Dress Down CEO is here to assist the consumer as well as the entity. You need fresh eyes. You need better thinkers, individuals who are about both parties, not just about the singular. I'm for the consumer, no question. Trust me when I tell you, but I'm also equally for the business. But let's do it in a manner that both entities thrive and become more beneficial for each. It's not that hard to do. This happens all the time. A collector may send an unpaid debt notice to a borrower's old address. The borrower never receives it and goes on with their lives unaware of the debt following them. So it's really important, again, that you update your information with your creditors, that you stay on point. Even if you happen to move somewhere and you forget about the debt, okay, zombie debt is out there that will reemerge. And again, these debt collection companies know all the tricks and the trades. Not all the tricks, but they do know a lot of tricks. And most of the time, when they are reaching out, it's a fishing expedition. So it's really important not to say anything that could, again, open up the doorway to them now knowing, oh, we got the person, and now we're going to take that person to task. Be very strategic and very smart. And if you are unsure, please reach out to us here at Leverage Credit Recovery. Reach out to us by means of Soul City Network, by means of our colleague, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, who equally has a program. Again, her lane is more specific to the insurance realm, the tax realm, all of that, which I do not handle. But I tell you, when I tell you, this individual, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, is amazing. It's amazing. And if those of you who do not know her, Google Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, watch her show on Thursdays, Access Wealth Nation, on the exact same network that you're tuning in right now. And also, again, definitely, if you have questions that you yourself can't answer about that specific area, you need to start following. You need to start picking up that phone and giving Dr. Yana B. a call. Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, Access Wealth Nation, here on this very network, Soul City Network, at 6 o'clock on Thursdays. I give shouts out to my peoples because, trust me, we're going to need all our people. All of our people. We're going to need to lock arms to make sure that we get the financial stability, financial freedom, generational wealth creation back on track. And it's not that hard to do. All right, so the borrower never receives it and goes on with their lives unaware of the debt following them. All right, so it could cause a problem, and you need to know these things because you don't want to be caught up with a zombie debt or finding yourself in a situation where, oh, now I got this debt here and now I don't know what to do with it. And then it turns into a collections activity. All right, just giving you a little bit more of what you should already know. So 5 things debt collectors can't do and 5 things they can do. So come to your place of work. Under the FDCPA, which is the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, it is illegal for a debt collector to come to your place of work to collect the payment. This act prohibits publicizing your debt and showing up at your job to collect for debt counts. It's just that simple. This means that the debt collector cannot harass you in person at your work. Very simple. They've done it before, and they're probably still doing it. But if you don't know your rights, you don't have it. I say it all the time. If you don't know your rights, you don't have them. They can't harass you. Harassing for debt collectors can come in many forms: repeated phone calls, threats of violence, publishing information about you, abusive and obscene language. All of these are illegal under the Debt Collection Practice Act. So don't tolerate anyone. Plus, you got that little magic button where you can just click, hang right on up. All right? It's okay. Click, hang right on up. If they acting like they don't know or they're trying to give you a runaround, click, hang it right on up. All right? And then do your due diligence by making sure, even if you answer the phone, please make sure, again, you are a person, not the person. And then once you get that understanding, then you're going to ask for a cease and desist. Oh, well, we need to still speak to so. No, you don't. No, you don't. I need your mailing address. That's all. Or your email. One of the two. I'd prefer the mailing address because, as I said about the emails, there's some legalities that I don't think are going to hold up in court when it comes to the emails. So you want that mailing address so you can send them a cease and desist letter from calling. And then you want to reach back out to us here at Leverage Credit Recovery, here through Soul City Network. You want to reach back out to us because guess what? We're then going to help you with making sure that this debt goes away. Okay? We're going to square this debt away. That's how we do. All right, so number 3, arrest you for debt. You cannot be arrested for debt you owe to a debt collector. However, if a debt collector sues you over the debt and you fail to show up in court, you may lose by default and be ordered to pay. All right? So there's a difference there. You've got to show up in court. If you get any letters, anything in the mail, and you are unsure, I want all of you now to understand there's somebody you can reach out to that can help Okay? There's no more, I didn't know, I don't have the information, the man's got his finger on the pulse, whatever it might be for an excuse. No more excuses. None. If you have a debt that you are not sure about and you have no idea how to get out of it, what you need to do is you need to start finding individuals like the Dress Down CEO who can help you navigate this and get it out and clear, get you out and clear from it. All right? Then, if you defy that court order, the collector may pursue an arrest warrant. So it's really important not to go down that road and find yourself somewhere where you don't want to be. That's why we have the experts. And I said it before, and I'm going to constantly keep saying it. We're knocking at the door. The experts, the talented, the smart, the savvy, the brilliant, the bright individuals are. We're knocking and we're telling you we're here to assist. So take us at our word. All right, pursue you for debt you don't owe. The debt collection industry is rifled with inaccuracies. Right? Inaccuracies. The number one part of the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act talks about accuracy. If it's not accurate, it's obviously inaccurate. And there's a lot of this going on. Incomplete or inaccurate documents can lead a debt collector to pursue the wrong person for payment or pursue the right person for a debt he or she already pays. Medical bills. Medical bills are the worst. And I'm so glad that President Obama put that in 2008, if I'm not mistaken, into law where there was certain time frames prior to that medical debt had to adhere to prior to doing anything. So if you don't know that, it's time that you do. And if they're showing up on your credit report, those debts could have already been satisfied. And if you don't review your credit reports, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Again, when you get ready to go out looking for a credit product, when you get ready to do anything, all right, when it comes to your understanding of how you're going to be managing your household, your finances, your income, all of this ties in, and we want you moving forward to be successful. All right, this issue isn't uncommon, but it's legal, or it's illegal. All right, it's not uncommon, but it is illegal. All right, accuracy is the only thing that courts and also the law, more or less, is going to protect the industry and also its entity. And that's to make sure that everything is accurate. And if it's not accurate, and if you are unsure about the accuracy because you're not very clear on this, then you have to reach out to somebody like myself, because we can walk you through it. We can help you navigate this better than any law firm. Yes, I'm going to put it out there, and I've challenged law firms as well. I just told you, I just left the court situation myself, and I demolished a lawyer, because I'm a specialist in this area. I've been focusing on it for the last 15 years just as a private citizen. Prior to that, I was working for corporate America for 30 years. Yeah, don't let the young face fool you. There is an actual old man in this body right here. And I don't mind calling myself old, because with age comes wisdom. And that wisdom comes way more than what these youngsters, or even some who claim that they have wisdoms, are out there doing. So I'm just here to tell you, we're here to protect you. We're here to make sure that you have all of the things that you need to be successful. We want you to start creating wealth, not giving that wealth away, not working hard for your resources and then turning around and giving those resources to somebody else. All right, so number 5, can call you whenever they want. We just saw earlier on that video that debt collectors cannot call you before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. You can also request that a debt collector stop calling or writing in pursuit of a payment on a debt. Your obligations to the debt, your obligations to pay the debt remains, however. Right? It's really important to understand these things. If you understand these things, I'm telling you right now, you're going to set yourself up for financial success. in this space, obviously, in this space of managing your debt properly. As far as your income is concerned, that's another area. As far as your investments are concerned, that's another area. As far as your taxes are concerned, that's another area. As far as your 401ks and 304bs, as far as those Roth IRAs and everything, these are all separate financial services areas that one should be particular and specific in. My realm, as I said before, is credit, and I'm good at it. I've done more, I continue to do more, and I'm someone who loves the fact that I will not stop being an isolationist, someone who loves to be a studier of what best helps us all as consumers. All right, so here are some of the things that they can. They can seek payment on expired debt. Unsolicited debt like credit cards and medical bills have a statute of limitations. After that date, the debt is expired and cannot be sued for payment, but you still owe it. According to them, you still owe it, and I'm here to correct that as well. Again, I get my information from sources, and I have to sometimes go back and I have to correct what the source is actually putting out there, because the source itself doesn't necessarily know that there's that bad debt deduction. So you may owe it to the original creditor, but you do not owe it to a third party. Bottom line, hands down, you do not owe a third party. You may owe it to the original creditor if the original creditor wants to open up their tax liabilities and then put that back on the books. That's what you may owe, but you do not owe a third party nothing. But you still owe it, and the debt collector can still seek payment on these old financial obligations. If you don't know you're right, they can. If you agree and you sign on the dotted line because you've been guilted into thinking, well, you know what? Yeah, I did get that credit card. Yeah, I did open up that loan. Yeah, I did take that, or whatever it may be. And you're guilted into it, not knowing the full extent behind what transpired with that debt, oh, you'll be setting yourself up for failure. They can't pursue you or pressure you. While debt collectors cannot threaten you or mislead you, they can apply pressure to collect payment. But don't be fooled by that. The pressure can include daily calls, frequent letters, or talk about pursuing a lawsuit for payment on the debt. Again, they violate your rights, you have a lawsuit. All right? They can sue you for payment on the debt. Debt collectors can sue you for payment on the debt as a last-ditch effort. And that's that part that I just said. That's the summary judgment. You get a summary judgment by not answering to a particular court brief that might come to the house, or a service brief that you might get serviced by a process server, or now with the new laws, they can tape it on your door. Again, this can turn into a garnishment, it can turn into a bank levy, or both. So you really want to stay on top of anything that you have that is a debt that has now left the hands of the original creditor and is now in the hands of a third party. They can sell your debt. Third parties sell debt all the time. It's a commodity, as I said. So they buy it from the original creditor, so they bought it at brand new, when it was brand spanking new. So they spent 12 cents, mind you, on that debt. So they spent 12 cents. Then they took it and said, okay, you know what? We're going to spend 6 months on trying to collect. They went 7 months and didn't collect. Now they're going to sell that to somebody else. So they're going to collect their 12 cents on that debt, or a little bit more, whatever it is that they can get. And then that next person is going to be on the hook, or that next collection agency is going to be on the hook trying to get you. So it's really important to understand that this debt can go from one collector to the next collector, to the next collector, to the next collector. It could just be out there. And if you don't understand the statute of limitations of your state, if you're getting duped because you think, and I keep saying it, you get guilted into something that you are not 100% sure about, because it's now a third party and not the original creditor. So it's really important to understand that. The original creditor, you owe them. You owe the original creditor. You might as well attempt to start negotiating or renegotiating the terms and conditions. But once that leaves the original creditor's hands, there's a lot of things that have transpired. You do not owe a third party at all. Okay? You got to be careful. Got to be careful. All right? And negotiate what you owe. Time is money, folks. Time is money because debt collectors buy debt for pennies on the dollar, and they have fairly large profit margins. Okay? Large profit margins if they collect the original amount owed. Large profit margins if they collect the original amount owed. Again, large profit margins. That means nothing is going back to the original creditor. They buy it at pennies on the dollar. The original creditor sells it in bulk. They don't sell it onesies and twosies. No, they sell it in bulk. And those individuals who are buying it they don't have to buy the whole bulk. They can buy a piece here, a piece there, a piece here. You may be able to negotiate a settlement of 25 or 30%. But I'm telling you right now, take it all the way down to 99 if you're going to renegotiate with a third party, and make sure you do your due diligence. There's more to this to come. All right, so how to report violators. CFPB and the Fair Trade Commission. These are the two areas where you really want to go if you are dealing with individuals who are violating your rights. You can report an unethical debt collector or fake debt collection letter to the state attorney general, the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau, and the Fair Trade Commission. These agencies can intervene if debt collectors are being deceptive or violating your rights. So it's really important to know these. And as I tell everybody all the time, if you want these slides, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to email them out to you, give them to you free of charge. Free of charge. I love doing the heavy lifting. I keep saying it all the time. I love doing the heavy lifting because this is what gets me up in the morning. This is what makes me valuable. And this is what we all need. We need valued individuals. We need individuals who are trusted in their communities, individuals who are specific in a particular area to assist now that we are going through these trying times and have been going through some trying times for, again, a good while now. And the only way to get out of this issue is to address it. You can't solve what you can't face. Just that simple. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this has been wonderful. It's always great and fascinating and amazing to do what I do. And I want to stay and connect with you. I want you to connect with us. I want us to make some form of a synergy, some form of an understanding where we can do for each other. All right, so you want to get in touch with me, leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. We're on social media platforms like Twitter, leverage_CR. We're on Instagram, Leverage Credit Recovery. We're on TikTok. Now, I know that's controversial issues with TikTok, but again, we're still out there. And you can call us at 805-428-9424. Again, 805-428-9424. And before we go, I want to let you know about some events that are coming up this Saturday, the 18th. You need to be at the SUNY Westchester Yonkers Cross County Mall. You need to be this Saturday, starting at 9:30. There's going to be light refreshments, and there's going to be probably a lunch. But starting at 9:30, we're going to be hosting the inaugural Black Families Wellness Expo. The Black Families Wellness Expo. This is about you, folks. This is about making sure that the Black family has all of the understanding. We're going to be talking about mental health. We're going to be talking about physical health. We're going to be talking about financial health. We're going to be giving you workshops, giveaways, and door prizes. Come out, come out, come out. Is this Saturday at the SUNY Westchester Yonkers Cross County Mall, 843 Kimball Avenue, Yonkers, New York. We're going to be starting at 9:30, so get there early, and enjoy this inaugural Black Families Wellness Expo. And your Dress Down CEO does it always. I have Saturdays thanks to the Yonkers Library. This Saturday, unfortunately, we will not be there, so I want you to come to the SUNY Westchester Yonkers Cross County Mall, because we normally would be at the library doing what we do there, which is our talk finances with an expert. All right, and we cover a variety of different topics. The topics include accessing your credit report, learning how to improve your credit score, and the importance of financial literacy. We're all about you, the consumer, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want what we have, if you need what we have, join us. Get in on this very important conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for doing what you do. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I am the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. I have a new title as well, and that is the Best Good Guy. I could be a total bad guy, but I choose to be the best good guy. I want to thank you for giving me the afternoon, the time, and I appreciate all of you. But get out this Saturday. Join us at Cross County in that brand new facility that used to be the Sears. If you live in Yonkers, it used to be that Sears building. If you're not familiar with Yonkers, it's in the Cross County Mall. I need you all out. I need you all to come out. Show your love, show your support. Let's get back on track financially, emotionally, and physically. Thank you, everybody. Be safe, America.